Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever looked at a parked car and thought, too spacious? Have you ever tried to parallel park a normal car and said, nope, I want something I can just pick up and carry? Then brace yourselves, because today we're diving headfirst into the pint-sized legend that makes a shoebox look over-engineered, the Peel P50. It's not just a car, it's a parking solution, a conversation starter, and possibly the only vehicle you can legally drive through your office and still have room for a desk fan. Now, before we step into this fiberglass phone booth of delight, a massive shout-out to our channel's sponsors, our wonderful members. Thanks to your generous support, we've been able to buy not one, but 2 miniature traffic cones for our next Microcar race. Truly, your contributions keep the wheels turning, sometimes all 3 of them. And hey, if you're not a sponsor yet, don't worry, we still like you. Right, let's rewind the spool to 1962, to the scenic but slightly windy Isle of Man. There, Peel Engineering Company, already known for its motorcycle fairings and fiberglass expertise, decided to see how absurdly small a car could be while still technically being car. The result? The Peel P50. It was first revealed to a puzzled but curious crowd at the 1962 Cycle and Motorcycle Show in London. At that point, it was just a fiberglass shell with wheels, but the concept took off faster than a Yorkshire Terrier on a sugar rush. Peel wasn't trying to build a supercar. No, their goal was simple: fit 1 adult and 1 shopping bag inside the world's tiniest enclosed vehicle and see if people would actually buy it. And they did. Between 1962 and 1965, Peel Engineering managed to build approximately 47 of these micro-wonders. Or maybe 50, depending on whom you ask. It's the kind of historical mystery that keeps car nerds awake at night. Either way, only 26 or 27 are known to survive today, depending again on whose wine cellar you've checked. That survival rate alone would be impressive if the car weren't so small that it could literally fall behind a filing cabinet and never be seen again. Now, what kind of mechanical beast lurks within this miniature marvel? Try not to laugh. The original Peel P50 was powered by a 49 cubic centimeter single-cylinder 2-stroke engine built by Zweirad Union, a German company better known for motorcycles than automobiles. This little buzzbox produced a whopping 4.2 horsepower. That's less than most hairdryers and possibly fewer than a determined hamster on a wheel. That minuscule motor was mounted at the rear and powered the lone rear wheel. Yes, it was a 3-wheeled rear-wheel drive layout, a sports tricycle if you're feeling generous. As for the transmission, it featured a 3-speed manual gearbox that politely refused to include a reverse gear. Peel's answer to that? A simple handle on the back of the car so you could literally lift it, turn it around, and walk off with your dignity intact, or not. Honestly, it's the kind of workout plan the gym doesn't want you to know about. The P50 had coil spring suspension at both ends, a tiny 50-inch wheelbase, and 3 drum brakes that could, in theory, stop the car, but more often acted like polite suggestions. Measuring 4 feet 6 inches long, about 137 centimeters, 3 feet 3 inches wide, roughly 99 centimeters, and weighing just 130 pounds, that's about 59 kilograms, the entire thing could fit in an elevator. And it did. In 1963, a publicity stunt took a P50 up the Live Blackpool Tower and drove it around the observation deck. Despite its tiny size, the P50 was fully road legal in the United Kingdom. You heard that right. You could license it, insure it, and drive it on public roads, assuming you had enough courage and enough tea in your veins to ignore the oncoming buses. The official top speed was somewhere around 38 miles per hour, just over 60 kilometers per hour, though reports suggest that if you pointed it downhill and prayed hard enough, you might squeeze out a few more. And when it came to fuel economy, the P50 was nothing short of astonishing. At nearly 100 miles per gallon, that's 2.8 liters per 100 kilometers, it sipped fuel like a Victorian lady sipping sherry. You could practically run it on leftover cooking oil and pure optimism, retailing at just £199 when new, though if you walked, you'd have had more legroom. Of course, the P50 wasn't about comfort. Its interior made a beach chair look like a Lazide boy. You got a single vinyl seat, a simple steering wheel, and not much else. No heating, no radio, no glove box. What it did have was charm and just enough space for one human being to reconsider their life choices. But simplicity didn't stop Peel from trying to jazz things up. The P50 came with one headlight, one windshield wiper, and one side door. It's like they were rationing symmetry. And in 1964, they even offered a few bright colors and shiny chrome pieces, making sure that if you were going to look ridiculous, you'd at least sparkle doing it. By the mid-60s, production ceased. Maybe the world just wasn't ready for a car you could store in your hallway. Maybe Peel Engineering realized they'd perfected absurdity and decided to quit while they were ahead. Either way, the P50 faded into the misty realm of microcar mythology until the BBC's Top Gear brought it screaming back into the limelight. Jeremy Clarkson, at 6'5", squeezed himself into a P50 and drove it not just on the streets of London, but right through the BBC headquarters, interrupting a live news broadcast like a cheeky fiberglass gnome on wheels. From then on, the P50 went from cult curio to auction house darling. And its legacy? Well, let's just say it's got 3 wheels and infinite personality. Even today, there's nothing quite like it. Sure, you've got smart cars and electric scooters, but the P50 wasn't just compact, it was existentially tiny. It wasn't built for mass appeal, it was built for an audience of one. The sort of person who looked at a full-size car and said, "No thanks, I've got knees and a dream." So what did it cost to live that dream? In 1963, the Peel P50's factory price was a mere £199. Adjusted for inflation, that's about £2,700 today, or roughly $3,200/$3,500. Sounds cheap, right? Well, that's adorable, because at auction, the P50 has since become the most expensive per-pound car you can buy. In March 2016, RM Sotheby's sold a pristine red 1964 P50 for $176,000. Earlier, another had sold for over $120,000. And in 2022, a UK auction saw one fetch a staggering £111,000, second only to the 2016 record. Not bad for a vehicle that makes a golf cart look like a limousine. That kind of price tag isn't just for rarity, it's for legend. It's for the Top Gear antics, the Guinness World Record status, the museum displays, and the sheer audacity of its design. It's for the fact that someone once rolled one down a hill in America and it emerged intact and roadworthy. That's not just engineering, that's microcar magic. And while we're waxing poetic, let's be honest. The Peel P50 is more than just the world's smallest car. It's a rolling reminder that cars can be fun, weird, and delightfully impractical. It's not about horsepower or luxury, it's about joy. And if you're ever feeling overwhelmed by the modern automotive world, with its 17-inch touchscreens, 400 horsepower SUVs, and AI parking assistance, just remember, once upon a time, someone built a street-legal jelly bean that weighed less than a middle schooler and cost less than a leather jacket. So next time you see one, maybe in a museum, or perhaps on the news because someone drove it through a government building, tip your hat. You're looking at a car that did the impossible. It got noticed by being invisible. And hey, if you enjoyed this dive into the wonderful world of absurd engineering, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more tiny tales, forgotten four-wheelers, and historic oddballs coming your way. Until next time, keep your wheels small